Big night of games, a lot of rivalry games tonight.
So fine, I really want to make you mine.
We call them hate blood games here on Friday Night Thunder.
Come on and get your kicks there. You don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey?
And one of the rivalry games right in our backyard had Shelbyville at Tullahoma. Let's go back to the Keith Nunley hotline. Keith Nunley hotline on line one. We've got Justin Palmer, the head coach, the new head coach of the Shelbyville Golden Eagles, as his team got a big win tonight over Tullahoma. Congratulations, Coach, on a big rivalry win.
I appreciate it. We're on the way back right now to get the kids settled down a little bit. We're excited to get a big win tonight. Anytime that we can win, come down here to Tullahoma and get a win, we're pleased. So, a lot of things that we've got to improve on, but overall it's a good win for us to get back on track after last week.
You're not new to the Shelbyville program, so you know what the Tullahoma rivalry means, and it really doesn't matter about records hardly. John Olive always has his team ready to play, and they fought you tooth and nail in the first half, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Coach Olive is a great coach, and he had the kids ready, and their kids played really hard. So I give them a ton of credit for that. Little thing, we got to tackle better. We didn't tackle very well in the first half, kind of carried over from last week's game. Once we started tackling better, we did a little bit better. But, my first 3 years here, we lost to them 3 years in a row when I was offensive coordinator. So, and then finally beat them in the playoffs. And then the last time we were here, was my last year at Shelbyville in 2014, and we had to score a touchdown with about 40 seconds left to win. So, I know how tough this game is. Whether they're down or they're up, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a battle out there on the field between these two teams.
Coach, a big win in a rivalry game, and coming off the loss, that had to be a stinging loss to Summit. Was that extra motivation for your kids, or did they were they ready to take it out on somebody, or were they a little shell-shocked?
No, I think that, it was a good wake-up call for us last week that we can't come out flat. We can't come out with no intensity, and so the kids had good intensity tonight throughout the game. So I think it was to our advantage to play a rivalry game, after a bad loss like that. So because the kids were up, they were ready to play. It helped that it was Tullahoma. They were excited to play them. When you grow up playing each other, in Little League baseball and basketball and football, you play each other and everything from the time you're 5 years old, all the way through high school. You can't help but become rivals. So, they were excited to play them this week. We had a great week of practice, so I felt good coming into tonight's game.
Dennis Weaver, Eric Keith talking to Shelbyville head coach Justin Palmer.
All right, Coach, congrats on the big win, but looking ahead, you come back home and you're hosting Laverne, who lost tonight to Stewart's Creek, so you both are now 1-1 in the region. How important is this matchup next week?
It's a big game. We lost our first region game to Summit, and if you want to make the playoffs, you can't lose too many of those region games. So we got to get on the right track next week. We've got to start fast and play fast and hard the whole game. It's homecoming next week, so with homecoming comes a lot of excitement, a lot of distractions. We got to learn to balance those two things, during the week and keep our eye on the prize, which is winning the game on Friday night.
Coach, we do an unofficial survey here on the Friday Night Thunder Scoreboard Show. Do you like or hate homecoming?
I like it. I really disliked it when I was a player.
Yeah.
But I was too serious, I guess. I like to see kids having fun. We have a great homecoming in Shelbyville. It's a really neat place to have homecoming, how they do everything and the traditions of it. So as long as we can balance, the distractions and the excitement, I think we'll be okay. That's always a challenge. And we have a young team, so when you're a sophomore and you don't play much, maybe you can stay out till 9 o'clock to work on that float or practice powder puff football. or whatever. But if you're a sophomore and you're a starter, maybe I need to go home at 7 and eat a good supper and go to bed. So that'll be the challenge. Will be getting these guys to focus on the game on Friday.
All right, Coach. Congratulations. Enjoy your win. Good luck in your preparations for the region play next week. Okay.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on.
All righty. That is Justin Palmer, the new head coach at Shelbyville.